The Live Stream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening and welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, and mostly TV from decades gone by, well, you've come to the right place. So before we get going, topic tonight is 1959, by the way. Before we get going, let me say hello to those folks who've been hanging out in the chat. Kenneth Wilkinson, great to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Gary Carpenter, you are indeed back. And happy birthday to you tomorrow, my friend. Let's see who else is here. Channel member Tracy Roth-Myers, welcome. Good to have you here with us on the live stream. And I thought I saw another channel member pop in. Carlos Ceja, welcome to the live stream. Longtime channel member, great to have you here hanging out with us this evening. And to all my channel members, I say thank you so much for your support. Okay, so let's see who else is here. Rachel in the 208. Glad you just made it. Melina Long says, Waltrip High School opened in 1959. Later on, Patrick Swayze was a student there. Welcome, Adrian James. Good to have you here. And channel member Carlos Ceja points out that 1959 was the year that the Barbie doll came out. Indeed, it is. As a matter of fact, I was just reading about that in this month's issue of Remind Magazine. There is a link in the description section of this live stream. Later on, if you're watching it in replay format, in the description section of the video, where you can get a year's subscription to Remind Magazine for just $12. But you mentioned Barbie doll, and let's look at what else came out that year. New products. 9 Lives cat food, Jiffy Pop popcorn, always fun to shake that. Jiffy Pop there on the stove top. Fisher-Price Little People, Princess Telephone, I'm not sure I know what that is. Scribbage and Troll Dolls all came out in 1959. Love this magazine, always fun. They've got an entire couple of pages dedicated to 1959. This, I say a couple pages, that's 2 pages there. There's 2 more pages about 1959. This is just an amazing magazine, and we'll talk more about it in just a little bit, but I want to get back to your comments. Let's see who else we have here. Doubleheader, welcome to the live stream, says 1959, the year Dominic Dunn and Sam Mills were born. Captain Nemo of the Nautilus, welcome. Good to have you hanging out with us this evening. And folks, I see 23 people are hanging out with me now. If you would smash that like button, I would be forever grateful. YouTube promotes these live streams more when there are more likes and more comments in the chat and all that kind of engagement stuff. So please do what you can to welcome and invite more people into this live stream, and the way we do that is smashing that thumbs up button. Okay, let's see who else is here. Rachel in the 208 says, I'm a huge fan of Fisher-Price. I am too. They were great toys for my kids growing up. Melina Long says 1959 was the birth year of Simon Cowell, Bryan Adams, and one of my faves, Marie Osmond. And they also point out the Bonanza starring Michael Landon came out on TV in 1959. Was that the debut year for Bonanza? Possibly. And Doubleheader tells us that 1959 was also the year that the Baltimore Colts defeated the New York Giants in the NFL championship game 31-16. All great stuff. Channel member Tracy Roth-Myers says, I know what a princess phone is. They were very fancy and very feminine. All right. Okay. All right. And channel member Carlos Ceja says, my Dodgers beat the White Sox in 1959. Nice. Nice. Was that for the World Series? Let me see what we got here. Yes, indeed. Let's go to page 3 of 1959 information. You can see there's a sports section up there. We have the World Series champions were the Dodgers in 59, the Colts for the NFL, and the NBA World champions were the Boston Celtics, and the Stanley Cup, for you hockey fans, it was the Montreal Canadiens. All right, let's see. Adrian James, good to have you here. Says 1959 was the year that Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper were killed. And Rachel in the 208 says, my mom came over from Germany in 1959. She was just 9 years old. Welcome, Norman Dahl. Good to have you here. Says, hi, Dave. I've been watching your videos for 3 years, and this is the first time I've actually caught a live feed. Woohoo! Yes! Great to have you with us. Thanks for hanging out. Okay. So I think I've said hello to everyone that has popped into the chat so far. Now, as the chat gets going and I get going, there is the probability, I was going to say possibility, but the probability that I'm going to miss a few comments, and that just happens. My sincere apologies if there's a question directed at me or something that I should acknowledge and I don't see it. I always watch these live streams afterwards, and I always feel bad when I miss something that I shouldn't have, but sometimes it just becomes a little too difficult to keep track of everything while I'm running the live stream as well. Melina Long says that 1959 Celebrities TV debuted Telly Savalas. Okay. And the movie adaptation, according to Captain Nemo, of Journey to the Center of the Earth came out in 1959. And Adrian James wants to know if I liked any of their music. You know what? That really wasn't my cup of tea, but of course I grew fond of La Bamba due to its resurgence in popularity when the movie came out. Let's see. What else? Did I get anything? Did I miss something? But Buddy Holly, truthfully, I wasn't a huge Buddy Holly fan. And the Big Bopper, I couldn't tell you what songs he performed. Channel member Carlos Ceja points out that yes, indeed, a monumental television series in the Twilight Zone debuted that year. And let's see. You already mentioned Maria Osmond, Melina, or someone did, but Kevin Spacey and Weird Al, one of my faves. Kevin's really not a fave of mine, but Weird Al, definitely a fave. And Tracy says, that is so you. Well, I try to be my authentic self here. That's very important to me. So I've got some videos that I'm going to queue up. I've got a video that we'll watch here in just a moment or two on Leave It to Beaver. It's a short video. We'll follow it up with a song that I wrote called From Haskell to Cooper. And then we'll come back and visit some more. I'll catch up on chats, all that kind of fun stuff. So again, tonight, we're all about 1959. The reason I picked that year is because that is the year that is being spotlighted. We're going to go spotlighted in the March issue of Remind Magazine. Huge fan of this magazine. I really, really am. Great deal in the description section of this live stream where you can pick up a year's worth of Remind Magazine for just $12. I'm not compensated by the magazine, folks. I just love the magazine and I want to see it stay in business. And as such, I would encourage folks that think they might enjoy the magazine as much as I do to give it a try. Okay, let me check chat one more time. See if there's anything I should point out that comes. Let's see. Raja 1938. Well, it's good to have you here, Raja. Great to have you with us. Says The Adventures of Superman was planned to be brought back if George Reeves had lived. Yes, they were talking with him about coming back and having another season of that show. Unfortunately, tragedy thwarted those efforts. And I love you, Tracy, and thank you so much for all your support. This is something that channel members can do is put in the chat a milestone message every month. And as you can see, Tracy Rothmeyers, God bless her soul, has been a supporting channel member for 40 months. And, you know, I just can't, what is that? It's well over 3 years. Truly appreciate all your support. So I did not know this. Fonzie jumped the shark in 1959. Now, of course, that was in the 70s when the episode aired on ABC, but apparently, and I did not know this, that was the year that was supposedly going on in Happy Days when Fonzie jumped that shark. Didn't know that. That's really interesting. You know, Happy Days, the longer it was on the air, the less it seemed like it was actually taking place in the 50s or even the 60s. They started to dress, it felt like they were dressing like just, you know, modern day, current day attire. Okay, with that said, let me get that off the screen and let's play a video and a music video, and then I'll come back and we'll chat some more. Thanks everyone for joining me tonight. This is awesome. Can't wait to talk more about 1959. Oh, and by the way, I've got trivia for us here at the end of the live stream tonight. 6 questions, 5 regular questions, and a bonus question for you, all about 1959. Of course, there'll be music, movies, and TV. So stick around and let's play some trivia at the end. But let's right now learn how Leave It to Beaver got, or how the Beaver, not Leave It to Beaver, how Theodore Cleaver got the nickname the Beaver. And then, like I said, I've got a fun little music video that I'll play, and then I'll come right back. No one knew why the Cleaver clan called Theodore Beaver. Apparently, the name came from Wally, who when they were younger couldn't pronounce Theodore and said Tweeter instead. Over time, Tweeter evolved into Beaver, and the rest is television history. Jerry Mathers talks about this on YouTube. He says he thought the reason the show's writers came up with for his nickname was a bit on the lame side, and shares the truth. It all came down to a notebook that one of the show's creators, Joe Connolly, seated in the center here, had been keeping since he was a young man. When Connolly was a merchant marine during World War II, one of his shipmates was named Beaver. Connolly thought that it was such a unique name that he wrote it down in his notebook. And years later, as he and his creative partner, Bob Mosier, began development on the program that would eventually become Leave It to Beaver, he remembered the name and gave it to the youngest member of the Cleaver family.
Eddie was the boy next door. He had such a pleasant smile. Eddie always said, yes sir, yes ma'am. He was such a perfect child. But behind those eyes he hid the truth so very, very well. Eddie was sweet on the outside, but inside he was raising hell. Now he's buried in chains and leather. He's Alice on stage. The master of chaos, he channels his inner rage. It's such a shocking change. It's really quite a sight. From Haskell to Cooper, he's gonna rock all through the night. See him on the screen, the lad was so polite, but behind their backs, Eddie was quite the sight. Rock and roll is where young Eddie came alive, trading innocence for mayhem, rocking black and white. Now he's wearing chains and leather. He's Alice on stage, the master of chaos. He channels his inner rage. It's such a shocking change. It's really quite a sight. From Haskell to Cooper, he's gonna rock all through the night.
Thank you, Tracy. That was a fun song to write. Of course, it's inspired by the urban legend that Ken Osmond, who had played Eddie Haskell, had gone on to be Alice Cooper. Kenneth Wilkinson says, do you sing or just write the songs, Dave? Well, I do sing, but I don't sing that well. That is a song that I wrote that is performed. I used Udio, which is an artificial intelligence music composition tool, to actually provide the instrumentation and the vocals. So there you go. That's the answer to that question. And I do have a few other comments here I wanted to point out. Antonio Rodriguez, welcome to the live stream. I am doing well. Hope you are doing well also. Rachel in 208 says that Chachi's hair on Happy Days was way too long. Yes. Molina Long says that songs that came out in 1959 were Why by Frankie Avalon, El Paso by Marty Robbins, and Paper Roses by Anita Bryant. Now, let's go into Remind Magazine. Let's look at the top songs. The Billboard hits of 1959. Show you the section right here. Okay. I see a Frankie Avalon song there. Let me go ahead and take this off screen. Let's see. Can I read it? The Ballad of New Orleans by Johnny Horton. Mac the Knife by Bobby Darin. Personality by Lloyd. I'm going to have to turn it over. Personality by Lloyd Price. Venus by Frankie Avalon. Lonely Boy. Oh, yeah, that was a great one. Paul Anka. Dream Lover by Bobby Darin. The Three Bells by the Browns. Come Softly to Me by the Fleetwoods. Kansas City by Wilbert Harrison. And Mr. Blue, another song by the Fleetwoods. Okay. Love this. I'll be playing a little video about Remind Magazine in just a minute. Let's see what else we have. Oh, channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says, please make your questions and answers easier than Thrash's. That is my goal. My goal is to always make my questions and answers easier than Thrash's. I get so frustrated sometimes with his. They're tough. They're tough, and I think Thrash just doesn't realize his knowledge base. It's runs so deep, right? That what he thinks is common knowledge ain't for us normal folk. Let's see what else we've got here. Hey, look at this. It's Pat McCormack, one of my great friends, and I really miss it. I need to talk to Pat. I need to catch up with you, buddy. Thanks so much for popping in. We need to get together again soon and on a live stream. Or maybe just record something. I don't know. Folks saying hi to Pat. See, Mike and Kathy, welcome to the live stream. Says, I was 5 years old in 1959. Adrian James says, wasn't born until 1970. I wasn't born in 1959 either. That's why I said I was initially going to title this live stream Remembering 1959, and then I realized I can't remember 1959, so it's a look back at 1959. Karen Lee, holy cow, welcome. Johnny Horton was a family favorite. Great historical songs. Pat, after what's going on in the stock market, buddy, we gotta make a pact not to talk about the stock market when we get together. Oh my gosh. Talk about self-imposed destruction of wealth. I'm not going to get political tonight, but I am majorly frustrated with what's going on in this country right now. That's it. I'm stopping. Let's see. Okay. I think that's about it. I'll let the rest of the comments just be in the chat for right now. This is a good one. Oh. Heather Locklear, still not born in 1959. She is, I think she's my age. I think. Okay. As promised, I'm singing the praises of Remind Magazine tonight, at least for a little while. So let me play a little video about Remind Magazine and remind you all that you can get this amazing magazine. It is $5.95 at the magazine rack or bookstore. I think that's what that says. $5.99. You can get an entire year's worth of Remind Magazine for $12. Click on the description or go into the description section and click on that link. And I promise you, if you like talking about this stuff, if you love all the, this issue is, a lot of it is about the Rat Pack, these guys, right? But then there's a section on, oh, this is a great one, 8 things about Sammy Davis Jr. we didn't know. There's a section on every decade. Here's the 70s section this month. Of course, we got a couple pictures of Sammy Davis Jr. in there. Yeah, this is good stuff. And then they got the listings for Turner Classic Movies. And oodles of puzzles and crosswords and word searches and things like that. I think, how many pages are there? 11 action-packed pages of that. Then you've got this ultimate trivia at the end. I will suck it. How well do I know the Rat Pack? That's not one I'm going to do well at. And a nice little pinup of Frank. And another pinup of Dean. And an article about the California alligator farm in LA, and then a poster on the back for Ocean's 11. Anyway, you can see it's an awesome magazine. Click on the link, get yourself a copy or get yourself a subscription. Let's see. Oh, Tracy, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Dow down 300 plus today. I purposefully didn't look at that. No, Tracy, the Dow was down 890 points today because investors are shook by these tariffs and by Trump's comments over the weekend about recession. And I promised I wasn't going to talk about it, so never mind. Let's see. Ward Arcade, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here. Says Alaska and Hawaii became the 49th and 50th states in 1959, and also says there were tough times in 1959, but they made it, and so can we. Yes, so can we. Come on, join me, everybody. So can we. Rachel in 208 says that I only know the Brat Pack. Yeah, me too. I'm way more familiar with the Brat Pack. Melina Long says Dwight Eisenhower was president in that year, but who was the vice president? Bet you it's in here. Bet you it's in here. Let me look that up. Oh, vice president would be Richard Milhouse Nixon. Oh, by the way, the median family income that year was $5,400 here in the United States. Cost of a new home in 1959 was median cost or average cost. It's kind of the same thing. Median means plop in the middle. Sometimes that's not quite the average, but median cost of a new home was $19,130. Postage stamp would run you 4 cents. Movie ticket. Oh, I don't want to answer that question. It's part of the trivia. Bacon, 49 cents a pound, and a loaf of bread, 29 centavos, my friend, 29 centavos. Deborah Battle, what a treat it is to have you hanging out in the live stream tonight. Says, hi, Dave. The one thing I like about this time is What's My Line? Yeah, that was a great show. Carlos Ceja says that he has always believed that Grease took place in 1959. And Ward Arcade says, hard to believe that back in 1959, there were only 3 networks. Yep, ABC, CBS, and NBC. And most folks had to use antennas to watch them. Believe it or not, I still use an antenna to get my local networks. Oh, Raja 1938 says, watching the markets now is just an exercise in masochism. So very, very true. I was trying not to look. I peeked this morning when at the open of the market, and many of you know that I used to work in the financial services industry for almost 30 years. So, I had a habit of always watching it. And I certainly am very familiar with the highs and lows and the roller coaster ride that the market can be. But I peeked this morning and then made a vow not to look again. But I looked. Okay. Let's see. Mike and Kathy says, did we have a color TV yet? They were out there. The Dave Sundstrom home didn't have a color TV until I think the early 70s. Oh, let's see. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says, I was watching it earlier. I am playing also Advocate. I've been kind of funky tonight. Well, it's great to have you with us, regardless of whatever condition you might be in. Let's see. Yeah, Ward Arcade says color TV was barely available in 1959. However, Bonanza was broadcast in color from the start. That might be the trivia question for those of you that stick around to play trivia with me in just a little bit. Look at this. Our buddy Terrell Eugene Bellinger is here with us tonight. Says 1959 was way before my time. It was a little before my time. Yeah, I know. You're just a young buck. Just a young buck. Gary Carpenter says Ben-Hur, the movie came out in 1959. Did indeed, for sure. And Raja 1938 points out that What's My Line? Full episodes are on YouTube. Such a great window into the past. Yeah, I've been watching tons and tons of episodes of Julia right now on YouTube. And it's a show that, as many of you know, because I put out a video about it recently, isn't available on any streaming service, and in an official manner, and it has never been released on DVD. It's quite a shame. It's a great show, and I've really been loving watching the episodes of Julia. In fact, my next video, well, I've got a video coming out in a couple days that's with Uncle Paul from Uncle Paul's Playhouse. It's a creator conversation video. But my typical traditional videos that I do, that the next one will be about Mark Kopach, who was the little guy that played, well, he's not a little guy anymore, he's a grown man, but back then in the late 60s, early 70s, he was just a little feller who played Julia's son, Corey Baker. Can't wait to get it out there and have folks see it. So let's see what else we've got here. Oh, wow. Ward Arcade says, my late papa's third birthday happened the day of the 1929 crash. All the parents took their kids home ASAP. Wow. Yep, David, welcome to the live stream. 1959 was the year that the day the music died. Doubleheader points out Perry Mason was in its third season. And channel member Carlos Ceja says, 7 years later, I was born. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says, I miss my little black and white TV. I had a good one, too. I had a little black and white TV when I was in my teenage years. Let's see. Lavender 11, welcome to the live stream, says, love your channel, Dave. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the videos, and thank you for hanging out tonight with us on this live stream. Ward Arcade says, Bonanza from 1959 to 1973, a year after Dan Blocker's death. Melina Long points out that the song American Pie, which came out in 1979, was about the death of Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Ritchie Valens, which, as we've already said, happened in 1959. Notable births, according to our friend Terrell Eugene Bellinger, 1959 births, Kyle MacLachlan, Tom Arnold, Allison Janney, I like her, she's a good actress, David Hyde Pierce, Emma Thompson, Dave Coulier, Hugh Laurie, Roseanne Arquette, inspiration for the Toto song, Danny Bonaducci, love that guy, Linda Blair, and yes, I do love Marie Osmond. Okay, let's keep going. Karen Lee says, yes, What's My Line is a favorite go-to when I can't find someone or something to watch. I'm a bit slow. I'm on my phone. Fat fingers, tiny letters. I'm a horrible typer on my phone. Hey, Dave Thomas, good to have you with us. Ward Arcade says the Tequila Song by the Champs debuted in 1959. And Doubleheader says other shows that were on in 1959 were Gunsmoke, The Ed Sullivan Show, Maverick, and Wagon Train. Let's do this. Let's go back to Remind Magazine. Top TV shows in reverse order, starting with number 9, Perry Mason. Wanted, Dead or Alive, The Price is Right, Sunset Strip, 77 Sunset Strip, Father Knows Best, Red Skelton, Danny Thomas, Have Gun Will Travel, Wagon Train, and at the top, Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke. All right, let's see. And don't forget, says David. The Menace premiered. Yeah, I liked Allison Janney and Mom as well. Doubleheader. Ward Arcade says, I Only Have Eyes for You version by the Flamingos debuted in 1959. It had debuted in 1934 in the Busby Berkeley movie Dames. This looks like a good stopping point. We're going to watch that Remind Magazine video, and then we might do some commercials, some vintage commercials from 1959. We'll come back. We'll hang out in the chat a little bit more, and then we'll play some trivia. So we've got a lot left. So please hang with me. See you very soon. See you on the flip side. Here we go.
There's only one way that you can find out whether you like our product, Skippy Peanut Butter, and that is to taste it with your very own taster. You'll never find out how good Skippy is by listening to us talk about it, because you can't taste with your ear. You can't discover how good Skippy is by looking at it on television, because you can't taste with your eye. Even thinking about Skippy doesn't help, because you can't taste it with your brain. In fact, your brain may think you don't like any kind of peanut butter, because it's too oily and sticky and hard to digest. But Skippy's secret patented process eliminates these drawbacks. So try Skippy with your very own taster. You'll find it tastes exactly like plump, fancy, fresh roasted peanuts. And if you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
Okay, boys, batting practice. Who's first?
I am, Tony.
You're a batter? Okay, boy. Well, don't just stand there, boy. Hit it.
Hit it? I didn't even see it.
Come on, boy. We'll put a tiger on your team. Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes. Great big flakes of corn sparkling with a secret sugar frosting. Either with milk or right out of the box, Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes are packed with energy.
They're good.
Good? They're great! Okay, boy, let's try it again. Put a tiger on your team with Kellogg Sugar Frosted Flakes.
All right. Where was that comment about Tony the Tiger? Oh, yeah. Ward Arcade says Tony sure looks skinny compared to the mid-70s version. Yeah, he looked kind of buff there. I like how he just called the kid boy. Hey, boy. Reminded me of the guy in Phantasm. Boy. But less scary. Definitely less scary. Let's see some comments I missed while the commercials were playing. David Thomas says, Remind is a great magazine, just renewed for sure. For sure. Let's see. Here's a couple more that I wanted to play. Let's see. Lance Chaffin, channel member Lance Chaffin says, hey, Lance. Good to have you here with us tonight. Deborah Battle says, started watching What's My Line on the Game Show Network. Now I watch it on YouTube. That year, my mother was 12 years old and my father was 14. It's also the year that Michael Jackson was born. Let's see. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, Dave, would you please consider doing a Whatever Happened To video on Clifton Davis, the star of That's My Mama and Amen? I will definitely add it to my list. Is he on that new soap opera on CBS, Beyond the Gates? Interesting. Okay, well, thank you for the suggestion, Terrell. Office Help says proud to have been born in 1959, and we're proud. No, delighted to have you with us. Have you here with us tonight on the live stream, Office Help. Channel member Lance Chaffin says, got my remind today. Awesome. Hey, did you get your April issue today? Hoping I get mine soon. Ted points out that Michael was actually born in 58, as were Prince and Madonna. What a year for music, right? Holy cow. Of course, 59 was a terrible year for music, but 58, lots of great musicians or artists born. Office Help points out that most cars in 1958 or 59 were void of seatbelts. Yeah. And Ward Arcade says that choosy mothers choose Jif. At least that's what I was told by Annette Funicello. Or was she a Skippy spokesman? I can't remember. Why do I think Jif? Maybe she was Skippy. Dolph Quick, welcome to the live stream, says, sorry, Skippy, I'm a Jif man myself. Let's see. I Love Lucy was in rerun, says Ward Arcade. The Lucy Desi Comedy Hour was still on, however. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, we played a clip about, or a little video that I made about Leave It to Beaver earlier. It was definitely, I think it debuted in 58 and would run until the early 60s. Never really a huge ratings hit. But it was solid, right? And it was on CBS, I think, the first year, and then moved to ABC for the remaining seasons. Skippy TV commercials had an ad. Okay, thank you for that, Melina. Thank you so much. I love this quote. In our well-ordered society, protection of private property is essential. Sounds like something Adam West's Batman would say. Gary Carpenter says that Make Room for Daddy was still on until 1964, and then it changed to the Danny Thomas Show. Yes, Tracy, channel member Tracy Roth Myers points out that that Skippy commercial looked like a little Pac-Man, and I like how they referred to the mouth as a taster. Yeah, they didn't say, by eating it with your mouth. Eating or testing it out with your taster. Your taster. Not your ears, not your eyes, your taster. Word Arcade says, I was a late in life baby, so I wasn't born for an X number of years afterwards. Interesting. And channel member Carlos Ceja wants me to do a video on the oldies rock band Sha Na Na. If I do, it may end up over on my classic, my Retro Music Memories channel, but I'll make sure to let everybody know if it ends up over there. Good suggestion. Thank you. Gary Carpenter points out that Bilko, or also known as the Phil Silvers Show, went off the air in 1959. All right. You know what? I'm going to play another video. Someone mentioned earlier, can't remember who it was, about, and I think I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start missing some comments, but I'm going to say hi to Grayman Media. I thought I saw Grayman Media pop in here. There we go. Grayman Media, hey, good to have you here with us tonight. Was it 1959, the year Hanna-Barbera released Huckleberry Hound and Quick Draw McGraw in syndication? Maybe. I do not know that for certain. But I bet you someone in the chat does. Want to say hello to you before we go to this video. Someone mentioned that Dennis the Menace premiered in 1959. There were a number of great shows that premiered in 1959. Let me pull up my Remind magazine. Premieres: Rawhide on CBS, ran from 59 to 65. Bonanza on NBC ran from 59 to 73. Laramie on NBC running from 59 to 63. The Twilight Zone running on CBS running from 59 to 64. Dennis the Menace on CBS running from 59 to 63. And Hawaiian Eye on ABC 59 to 63 as well. Okay, Dennis the Menace, here we go. Let's do a video about that and come back and play some trivia. What do you say? Let's do it.
Along with Star Trek and Adam West's Batman, I love The Andy Griffith Show. It's one of my all-time favorite television programs. The show originally ran for 8 seasons on CBS before morphing into another hit program for that network called Mayberry RFD. And it was those early episodes during the first 5 seasons of the show, before it transitioned to color, that really are so very dear to my heart. I've talked at length about this program in so many other videos. I won't expound upon that right here, right now. Instead, this video is about a story that Ron Howard shared in his new book that he co-authored with his brother Clint called The Boys. Huge thank you to channel member John Collins for sending me a copy. I am absolutely loving this heartfelt memoir of the Howard family and their highs and lows within the entertainment industry. So what was the TV show that Ron appeared in that made him feel so absolutely horrible? Well, the good news is it wasn't The Andy Griffith Show or even Happy Days. And it wasn't The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, where Ron made some of his earliest appearances on TV. However, it was another show, a show that Ron made numerous appearances on prior to becoming Opie Taylor. If you're struggling to guess what the show might be, let me help you out a bit.
The grown-ups of Hilldale. Why do they tremble? Why are they nervous? What are they all afraid of?
Hi, Mr. Welcome.
Dennis!
Dennis!
The Menace. Dun, dun, dun. He's no ordinary kid.
Look at the way his hair sticks up and back.
He's the scariest thing to happen to grown-ups since shaving. Dennis. Dun, dun, dun. The Menace. Ta-da! Weekdays at 6, 5 Central on Nickelodeon.
We're talking about another show that was extremely successful. It ran on CBS for 4 seasons, beginning in 1959. Dennis the Menace. And during that first season of the show, Ron played one of Dennis's friends. And in his book, Ron says that every time he showed up on set, he just felt horrible. Why? Was it because he wasn't treated well? No, that wasn't it at all. Instead, Ron noticed how the show's star, Jay North, was treated. Apparently in between takes, while he and the other kids would run off and play, Jay wasn't allowed to do anything like that. Instead, as soon as the camera stopped rolling, he was taken directly to a chair where the show's makeup team would work on his hair. It was the cowlick on the back of his head that required significant attention after each take, and once it was put in place, Jay wasn't allowed to move. Instead, he would have to sit there motionless, and a family member would rehearse lines with him. Ron could tell that Jay was miserable, and he felt horrible for him. In a 2017 article in Closer magazine, Jay recalled just how bad things got for him. And in that article, Jay said that he was also physically abused by an aunt whenever he would get a line wrong. You know, it's very interesting to me that little Ron Howard was able to pick up on all of Jay's sadness way back then, and I find it absolutely shocking that none of the adults, family members or otherwise, were able to pick up on what was going on and do something about it way back then. The tragedy is that Jay didn't have a protector, the way that Ron and Clint Howard did. From what I can tell reading the book so far, their father, Rance, would never have allowed something like that to happen to either of his boys. The good news is that Jay has survived all of that. There was a long time when he wanted nothing to do with the Dennis the Menace TV show, and he had nothing but negative things to say. But those days are gone. He's been married for 30 years now and is working in a career that has nothing to do with showbiz, and that has allowed him to move past the pain and finally enjoy being part of the TV show that made him famous. Getting back to Ron and Clint Howard's memoir for just a moment, more than anything else, it feels like a love letter, not to the entertainment industry, but rather to their parents who somehow managed to do the impossible, which was to allow Ron and Clint to lead relatively normal lives.
That Rance Howard, what a wonderful dad. What a wonderful dad he was. Both of the Howard parents were amazing people, and they just did everything they could to make sure that their boys were taken care of. All right, I saw some folks that I haven't acknowledged in the chat. Let's see, Daytime Cartoon Channel is here. Says I have both of those DVDs known as the Classics Collection. Okay, I'm not sure what DVDs we're talking about. Dennis the Menace, Andy Griffith Show, Leave It to Beaver. Could be any of those, but they're all classics, right? And all wonderful. Sakina McMurrin, longtime community member. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Retro Warehouse, who says Dennis the Menace is a 1959 staple. Indeed, it is, and a very fun show. Obviously, not that much fun for poor Jay Ward to act in, and that was because he didn't have protectors like Rance. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Is there anything else? Yes, Daytime Cartoon Channel does point out that Huckleberry Hound debuted in 58, but Quick Draw debuted in 59. And Rhymes with Orange, welcome. Howdy. Good to have you with us tonight. You are just in time because we're going to play a little bit of trivia. 1959 trivia. And let me go ahead and take this off the screen and bring this onto the screen. There we are. 1959. 6 questions. 5 questions and then a bonus question at the end. Welcome, Larry. Good to have you with us. Always a treat to have you hanging out with us, in fact. And for those folks who have been just kind of silently enjoying the live stream, I would encourage you to, if you want, to participate in the with the trivia. You can put your answers in the chat if you want, right or wrong. You can just write them down on a piece of paper, or like I usually do when I'm playing trivia over on Thrash's live streams. I just kind of lock them into my head. But however you want to participate, I encourage everybody to play along with us, and we'll get going right now to question number 1, which is, which one of these classic TV shows premiered on CBS? Was it in 1959? That's an important part of the question. In 1959, was it The Andy Griffith Show, Flintstones, Lost in Space, or Twilight Zone? If you've been listening to live stream, we have given this answer out. I'm going to start the timer, 30 seconds. Again, the question is, which one of these classic television programs premiered on CBS in 1959? Was it Andy Griffith, The Flintstones, Lost in Space, or The Twilight Zone? Tracy, you'll have to tell me later whether you think that these questions are harder or easier. Or somewhere, maybe they're about the same. I don't know. All right, let's take the timer off the screen. The correct answer is Twilight Zone. Question number 2. Which movie won the 1959 Best Picture Academy Award? Was it Ben-Hur, Operation Pennycoat, Some Like It Hot, or Suddenly Last Summer? Which, by the way, is a great motel song if you're a fan of 80s music. Starting the timer, which movie won the 1959 Best Picture Academy Award? So this would have been presented in 1960 when they gave the awards out for all the 1959 movies. Was it Ben-Hur, Operation Petticoat, Some Like It Hot. Oh, I love that Billy Wilder film. Or Suddenly Last Summer. Correct answer is Ben-Hur, another great movie. Question number 3. Which record company was founded by Berry Gordy Jr. in 1959? Was it Atlantic Records, Island Records, Motown Records, or RCA Records? Timer engaged. Again, which record company was founded by Berry Gordy Jr. in 1959? Was it Atlantic Records, Island Records, Motown Records, or RCA Records? Hopefully everybody's having fun and doing well in the trivia. But remember, if you have to weigh the importance of having fun or doing well, having fun is always more important than doing well. So just hang with me. If you don't know the answers, well, you learn a little something. All right, correct answer is Motown Records. Moving on to question number 4. What was the average cost of a movie ticket in 1959? I almost gave this away when I was sharing earlier prices about, various things in 1959. Was it 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, or $1.50? Timer engaged. Again, the question is, what was the average cost of a movie ticket in 1959? Was it 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, or $1.50? My dad tells the story of when he was growing up, his extended family owned the only movie theater in the little town that he was raised in, Fillmore, Utah. And he loved it because he got to go to movies for free. But then his mom sold her part of the movie theater back to the family, and he recalls going to the movie theater the next week to get in for free, and he was charged admission. That was before 1959, so he probably was charged less than this. The correct price is $1. Moving on to question number 5. What was the highest rated television show during 1959? I think I shared this earlier too. Was it the Danny Thomas Show, aka Father Knows Best? Oh, wait, no, Make Room for Daddy, a.k.a. Make Room for Daddy. Fathers Knows Best, that was the one with Robert Young. Gunsmoke or Perry Mason? Timer engaged. What was the highest rated TV show during 1959? Was it The Danny Thomas Show, Father Knows Best, Gunsmoke, or Perry Mason? I see lots going on in the chat, and when I do the trivia, I just kind of let that go. I don't pay attention to what's going on there because I've got a lot of things I'm doing in the background here, getting the timer going, moving the slides forward, all that stuff. So I really can't pay too much attention to the chat, but I will ask you guys for your final scores in just a moment. Correct answer is Gunsmoke, #1 show in 1959. And here's your bonus question. In 1959, we talked about this too. Which TV show became the first Western to broadcast an episode in color? Was it Bonanza, Gunsmoke, Have Gun, Will Travel, or Wagon Train? The inspiration for Star Trek, right? No, not really. But that's how Gene Roddenberry described Star Trek to network executives when they were having a hard time envisioning what Star Trek would be. He said, "It's Wagon Train to the stars." And that made it a more palatable show for the network executives to buy into. Of course, it still required Lucille Ball to come to the rescue after the first pilot didn't go over well with those execs. Let me go ahead and take the timer off the screen, and we'll see the correct answer is indeed Bonanza. First television show to, first Western to broadcast an episode in color. Okay, so how did you do? Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this as a replay, let us know in the comments section. We want to know how you all did. Let me go ahead and bring myself back on to full screen, and we'll look at some scores. Tell me how you guys did Let's see. We'll start with Kenneth Wilkinson, who got 5 out of 6. Very nice. Rachel in the 208, 5 out of 6. Karen Lee, 2 out of 6. Let's see. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyers, 5 of 6. I must have done a little better than Thrash, right? A little bit easier than Thrash on those questions. Deborah Battle, 5 out of 6. Nicely done. Doubleheader, 4 out of 6. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, 5 of 6. Dolph Quick, 9 of 10. What? No. Jason Goldtrap, 4 of 6. Office Help got them all. And Doubleheader says got the bonus as well. Let's see. Richard Smith, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here playing trivia with us, Richard. 5 out of 6. Sakina got 4 out of 6. Channel member Melissa Foster, welcome. So glad you're able to join us, even if it was late. 3 of 5. Let's see. Gary Carpenter says wasn't born until 67. Yeah. And Rhymes with Orange only missed the movie price question. Nicely done. That probably was the toughest one because the prices were all relatively close together. It was hard to guess one on that one. So thanks for joining me, everybody. You know, I have to mention, I've talked a lot about Remind Magazine tonight. But there's another product out there that I am a huge fan of, and I've got a link to it in the description section as well, and that is Friendly Television. You know, Friendly TV has so many great channels that pretty much focus on just broadcasting old-timey classic TV. And for that reason, I'm just a huge fan of the streaming service. Over 50 channels, a lot of them are playing the good stuff. So let me just play this little commercial. I'll come right back and we'll wrap this thing up tonight. You know, whenever I think about classic TV, I immediately think about the Friendly TV streaming service that has over 50 channels, many of them showcasing classic television shows from decades gone by for a crazy low price. You can try the service free for 7 days by clicking on the link in the description section. And when you do, you're supporting this channel. Thanks. Look at that. I changed my hoodie super fast. That was amazing. Okay. I probably wear way too many hoodies. I need to find something else to wear. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says, you gave me a fighting chance there, Dave. That's the goal. That is the goal. And Karen Lee says, that was fun. Thank you. And Patty Dixon, good gravy. Welcome to live stream. I'm glad you caught it as well. Hopefully you were able to play trivia with us a little bit. Always a treat to have you hanging out with us. And Captain Nemo of Nautilus, thank you so much for all the Batman quotes. I think most of you know I'm a huge Adam West fan, so treat to have those in the chat. All right, got to wrap things up. Gonna go get. I think we're gonna get a little treat with the family. I've got my boys home spring break from college, so I think we'll go get a treat, maybe some ice cream, something like that. Oh wait, but I got to put this on the screen. Sakina, you're too kind. You're too kind. I don't know how great I look in hoodies, but they are comfortable and extremely functional. All right. With that said, let me bring on my buddy Fred, and he'll sing us on out of here. You guys are awesome. But of course, Fred, he says you're more than awesome. All right. Have a nice night, folks. Take care.
You are special.
Didn't have to do it, but you did. So thank you very much for your support. Click on that thumbnail, cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel, he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.